Guys, it's been a long year last year. I want to take the moment to talk to you guys about the month of March and the history on it. I don't want to take up too much time for you guys, but just to tell you guys, March is kind of a rough year now for us. Since last year, March 1st, our great-grandmother has passed away. And today, right now, is March 1st, but I don't know when this is going to get uploaded. So, please bear with us as I try to get this to upload. So, I want to tell you guys the history on March. Back 2004, March 31st or 29th, my dad passed away, and I was only 2 years old, so I didn't know what death and heartache was. So I was pretty young, and I grew up without dad, and here I am today in my grandmother's house, and our mom. Reason why I don't live with her is personal reasons. I'll probably talk in a different video, but I want to tell you guys about March a little bit. So as I told you when she was in the hospital of last year, you guys want me to tell the full story on her, so here I go. So about February 28th or 29th, no, 22nd, 23rd, I'm not too sure. One of those days, she's in the hospital for at least 4 or 5 weeks. But first it started out, it was just a simple cold. Little coughing, hacking going on. Then after a while, it got worse and worse until she was laying in bed, coughing, gagging, and one day she woke my great-grandpa up like 2 o'clock in the morning and said, "Jim, get me to the hospital, I'm coughing up blood." And those napkins what she was coughing in, and she was so weak that night, and she tried to walk out the door. This is all for my great-grandpa, so if I'm not correct on some of it, my apologies, but tried to walk her outside, and she was very weak. He could barely hold her up, get her to the car. And she stopped for a minute, sat down. Then Grandpa looked and said, "Joanne, what's wrong? Come on." She looked and said, "I can't get up." He tried her best to get her up, and eventually got her up, got her in the car. And the thing with her great-grandma, she had this habit of going through the house again, checking, make sure all the lights are off. And she tried to do that, and her grandpa said, "Come on, you gotta go to the hospital." She said, "Okay." So put her in the car, drove there. Doctor said, "You have pneumonia and the flu." And this is my reason why I don't like the flu shot or any type of shot for a sickness. Vaccinating when you're born, that's a different thing. But when she went, so when they put the flu shot or the pneumonia shot, they're basically putting the thing inside of you, and that's why I don't like any sort of thing like that. And just my apologies. I want to tell you guys, yeah. So, anyways, it's your opinion. If you take the shot, you go ahead and take it. But reason why I got it is because the camera thought I shut off. But anyway, so my battery's about to die. I'm very sorry. But got her to the hospital. They said that put her in the hospital, kept her there for a couple weeks. Her lungs started to fill up with fluids and stuff. They tried their best to get it out. One day they had about 7 bags of stuff pumping into her, trying to fight the infection, fighting the flu. Then that fought something else, put something to fight that. And they had a tube down her throat, help her breathe. And that kind of, sometimes, it means you're not going to live very long. Now, if you have a family member that's in the hospital and they got a tube down their throat, I'm not saying they're going to die. I'm not saying that, but sometimes it means you're going to. Depends on your condition. But one day they said, we can only keep this thing in her for so long. It's either we take it out and let her live the rest of she can, or let her cut a trick in her throat and have her live like that the rest of her life. And our great grandma was responsive at the time, and she looked up and said, "No, let me die." And my grandma came to school and said, "Come on, let's go. Your granny's gonna die." I went in the office, signed us out, got in the car. I tried my best to stay strong, not cry. Got to the hospital. I saw her. She looked lifeless. I looked there and I said, "Granny, you know how much I loved you. You know how much I cared about you." And we lay there and about an hour. Well, we got there half hour after they took it out. And about a half hour later, when our uncle got there, the pastor got there, pastor read a couple of verses out of the Bible. He walked out. Uncle and our grandpa was sitting there holding her hand. All I could do was sit there and look at her, telling her how much I love her. The little thing went silent. Then grandma looked and said she's gone. I was enraged. I rushed out of the room. I was furious. I shoved the doors open. I'm screaming and crying. As I go in the restroom and try to calm down a little bit, we went home. And we went on from there to clean up her house, get her stuff out of there. Because she had quite a few stuff in there. First couple weeks I was in denial. I didn't believe she was dead. Those videos I said my new style and everything, I was happy. I didn't believe she was dead. I told myself, no, she's in the hospital. She's still there. She's gonna live. But soon after, I just corrupted. I just fell apart. Knowing she was dead. Knowing I'm never gonna see her until I get to heaven. That ruined me for the rest of the year. About the middle of January, I was actually starting to get over it. And since it's March, I want to speak to you guys about it. Thank you guys for taking this time and listening. I thank you very much for this. And I'm terribly sorry if I'm crying. And it brings back good memories, a lot of bad memories. About me at night, looking up and asking God, is she gonna live? Well, when you're 80 years old, sometimes your body just can't fight no more. Rather, if your great-grandparents or grandparent is 80, 90, or possibly 100, tell them never stop fighting. Stay strong. Because our great-grandma couldn't fight no more. She didn't want to go to the hospital until the last minute. That's what killed her the most. And March kind of makes me emotional. Because the beginning, our great-grandma died. At the end, our dad died. And again, I was in denial. I didn't believe she was dead. I believed she was still in the hospital or still getting well at the house. Once I started realizing she was really dead, I broke down. I just didn't want nothing to do with anyone. I had a whole new look on life. I started distrusting a lot of people, thinking people were just trying to be nice. I didn't trust no one after that. Only my friends that real close people I know I could. And I was just in shock. I didn't know what was I gonna do from that day forward. It really broke me, guys, when she died. And I try my best to do what she told me to do. Stay strong. And she loved me. She loved me a lot. That's what hurt me the most, knowing that her love may never be there. I look at pictures of her, and I say, Granny, I know you're still here. And I'm fighting with you. Thank you guys for watching and being here with me, and I'm very sorry I got emotional. I loved her very much. One of her favorite songs to hear me play was the John Denver song, Almost Heaven, West Virginia. I thank you guys so much for being here. I love each and every one of you people. I don't know how much subscribers I have, but I thank you so much for being here with me. I don't know what life conditions you guys are in, but I know there's someone, that one person out there that really does care about you. Just like the Angry Grandpa show, I look up to him, I look up to Elvis, because I don't have a father figure that. I look up to him, and I tell him, because Angry Grandpa has cancer, I told him, but I look at the videos and I feel part of the family and everything, but that's a different subject. There's always that one person out there that cares. And I thank you guys for being there and caring. I love all you so much. Make sure to subscribe, comment, leave a like. Because every year I'm going to try to make a video like this. Not crying, but talk about her, stuff like that. I thank you guys so much for being here. And I hope you guys have a blessed day or blessed night. Thank you very much.